Well, we're back on the hunt. We've had a few weeks off due to other things being on and so on. So first signal, same area. Got a little disc. It's pretty thin. I don't think it'll be a coin. Oh, that's a good start. Tiny brass ring. Scattered signal here, so it could be an iron based thing. We've got highs and lows, but worth checking out. You never know, the hole you don't dig might be the one that holds the interesting stuff. The valve cap off the push bike. Alright, just got ourselves under the base of this tree. Seems like could be an interesting target. And we've got some form of knurled nut. Why do I use the Mine Lab? What I could afford. It does wet, it does dry sand. It wasn't $1,000. Is it any better than any other detector? I don't know, I've never had one. I started out with cheap little rubbish detectors. I found a heap of shit with cheap little rubbish detectors. When it comes to gear and hobbies, honestly there's nothing worse than an equipment snob. It really gets to me. If you want to get people into your sport and get them into your clubs, don't be snobs. I approached a club recently to join and see what I could you know, do with the club. They were very close-minded. In fact, when I went to sign their application papers, they wanted to know how much experience I've had. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, we don't want to have to teach you. What the hell is a metal detecting club supposed to do for new members? Honestly, that just blows my mind. Rant out, let's keep detecting. That's an interesting shape. Quite possibly may have something stamped on there. There we go. A wee cog. So, hard to say. Could be a clock as usual. Right down to any other small application. Good old piece of webbing. This camera angle right. Brass. This is this bladey grass. You can see it's got a cute angle on it. So it's flat that way, but razor sharp that way. How's that? Even the grass here in Australia is out to kill you. A dirty big screw with a brass head on it. Don't bend things, you dickhead. That looks bicycle related again, like brakes. Another light bulb fitting. 2-pin. Well, we're still in the same area. I wonder if this is going to be another piece of cut brass. Very fine in the leaf litter. No, it's not. It's a 303 projectile and light again. What the duck is that? It is really hard going out here at the moment. Oh, what have we got? Oh, that would be a good old drum bung. Uh-oh. We have just uncovered, and you'll have to go back to the video where we found the badge, a funnel web spider. Now, I haven't killed him, he's just plain dead, but I scraped that dirt back, and there he is. I don't like spiders, not scared of them, but I just don't like them. And there's a target here, so I'll have to work around him. I think he's only stunned. See how close we can get and how much focus we can get out of it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's only stunned. But yeah, pretty sure you can get pretty seriously crooked with them. Just like most things in Australia. You're welcome. Alright. Let's see if we can find this target without upsetting our spider mate. As long as he's not protecting, he's protecting the target. Alright, I'm trying to scoop him up in the end of the pick and move him elsewhere. I don't like spiders. There you go, old mate. It's not dead, I can tell you now. Alrighty. Being wary in case there's another one here. Piece of lead. Any white ants in there? Move it. There we go. A lump of brass. Do I see many snakes? No, I make a hell of a lot of noise. I don't tend to see many snakes. And if I do, I'm pretty quick to get the hell out of there. Oh, looks like a big one. Not. No. It's a tent island. You little old nut. No, it's a collar. Could be a piece of copper pipe. I don't find treasure. It just doesn't happen. I'm here amongst relics of a war camp. That's what I'm about. If you're looking for treasure, you'll have to go somewhere else. I'll show you what I find. There's no bullshit. Alright, well, I thought I was recording and I wasn't, so that's what happens. Look at that. That, to me, is treasure. Australian collar pin. Sweet. Curved piece of brass. Be interesting to see what that cleans up as. Don't tell me it's that coal again. It's not. Yeah, it's a junction pipe. Still interesting. We're chasing a very small signal. We turned up this. It's the cut-off end of a shell. Once again, my eyes are shot, so I can't see what it says, but I'll clean it up later when we get home. That's pretty cool. And up comes a livey. It'll be a 3.0, and we'll make sure that goes to a proper collector. Yep. Another cartridge. Yeah, that one's oozing green. That's good. There's the projectile of it, so I broke that one. There we go. And more live through. There we go. 3.0 projectile. That's pretty cool. Okay, well, just to wrap up. We've got many and varied different things here today. Now let's start at the top. We've got a couple of brass pipe connectors with orange tape. Don't know about that. That appears to be very similar. There was a marking on one of these. There's a BM in a triangle. Not a triangle, a diamond type of thing. There's more of that orange tape. This bit's pretty weird. It's rubber, but it's got an electrical conductor of brass from that point around to that point. Hollow, you can see the rubber end on both sections. Yeah, and that's one continuous piece of brass. It straps to there and straps to there. It's actually got a USA marking on it right there, if you can see that. So I'll have to put that to my mate with all the electrical knowledge, see what he reckons. Okay, the Australian lapel badge originally came out with a black lacquer over them so they didn't shine and glint. Still got its 2 pins on the back. That's pretty cool. I like that one. This big old piece here appears to be a big tube of something. Now I've picked up lots of shaving cream and toothpaste, but none this big. So I've gone over it very carefully with the super eye, and I can't find a darn thing on it. And that was pretty close. So I'd say that's the original top off it. And again, there's no markings on it. So, go from there. Alfoil, the bane of all diggers. We get an electrical connection with a yellow wire, piece of rubbish, the Aussie D drum bung, and since it's dried, this piece actually chipped off it. Not a big deal, it's only a drum bung after all. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And the seal was right there next to it. Rightio. Strap of brass. I thought that might have been off a lantern, but there's no marking on it, so I can't claim that to be. Right, a couple more offcuts, but they appear to be cutting blades. See that? It's cut on the angle. Rightio. That appears to be a valve stem from a push bike. This piece, very strange. I hope this is focusing. I can't tell until I edit. It's actually got a braided section on the back. Now, I found pieces this shape before and they're actually detonators for shells or what have you. It's very safe, there's nothing in there. So very odd, no markings. Once again appears to be push bike related. This piece belongs to this piece. So that appears to be an electrical connection of some kind, or a protector with the strip on it. We've got a stainless strip here. Can't be sure if that's old or not. It does have some age to it. Could be a wiper blade holder, that's what it looks like to me. Right. A couple of 3/0 projectiles. And a wee one. A piece of webbing. Another one of those strange shaped collets. Lead. Zinc. That appears to me to be actual melted copper. Cleaned it up as much as I can, and it's not soft, so they were trying to make something out of that. A couple of liveys, a couple of ringlets, not to be confused with tent eyelets. Some more brass, put that up there. More bike related valve caps, a couple of broken 3/0 cartridges, more junk, goes over there with the glass. There's another piece of broken brass. This round, I broke it, yes I broke it, yeah, dickhead. I'll do a macro on this. It's actually got a red ring around the primer, so that usually indicated something. Now if old mate would hurry up and get his finger out and send me the list of some of those strange things we found, I could tell you exactly what that was. So old mate, get your finger out. Plug, a couple of little tiny bits that turned up. Yeah, I'm finding some small stuff lately. The end of a cartridge that's been cut off. It's not the same size, so I'd say we're looking at probably a 30 cal there. Right, this bit's pretty weird. It's got that bendy shape about it. It's been cut off. That reminds me somehow of under the front of the rifle. It has a stay where it actually holds the timber on the front stock, forestock. So again, I'll have to check that, and if you guys can tell me, tell me. Got a rusty button, looks like off the jeans, that sort of thing. We've got a collar off a light bulb. It's actually got some markings on there, but I couldn't really work it out. It was 27 or 28 something. An actual light bulb fitting, and that's got the big MIC stamp on it. Yeah, this bit's pretty interesting. I don't think it's silver, but yeah, it's got that pretty colour to it. Another little plate, tiny lump of lead. I thought that would have had something stamped on it, but nothing to see. A little piece of zinc, obviously broken. Now that I'm looking at this from a different angle, I thought it may have been a primer too, just with that Y-shaped cover over it. But just looking through there, looks as though that's a filter. So again, if you can ID it, let me know. Okay, this bit, very interesting piece. I found watch pieces before and they're not quite the same. Looks as if it's got a keyway down the middle for an Allen key, but it may just be a fakey. But it's damaged. And it's damaged in a way you'd think would take a fair bit of damage, as in heat and so on. So perhaps that's got more of a ordnance use to what I'm thinking of. It's definitely not a watch part. Alright. Again, if you can tell us what it is, let us know. Now, the coolest of the cool, I was finding these little buttons. I didn't take much notice because you find buttons all the time, but when you clean them up, this one says USA. I couldn't find anything on the back, and I think there are a few of these because after I found a few I just sort of stopped finding them. But this one says US Army. So after a trying day in the heat, I'm pretty wrapped with what we've got with our Aussie collar pin, our US buttons, our USA strange rubber thing with electrical connections, and our couple of odd projectiles. Again, if you can identify anything, that'd be great. Like and subscribe, and of course you have to sign into YouTube if you want to like or subscribe. Plenty of people say they watch it and they like it, but they don't press the button, which doesn't show me that they like it. I'll keep doing it. Like I say, I'll keep making them just for the fun of doing it, and sharing it with my mates that can't get out there. Your metal detector's not going to find anything sitting in the cupboard. And again, doesn't matter what brand it is, if it's sitting in your cupboard, it's not going to find you anything. All being good, we'll have another video up next week. See you then. Cheers.